Del Mar Division in San Diego County on Thursday, August 4th, 2016. This is a directed net, which meets each Thursday evening at 2000 hours or 8 p.m. local time. On this repeater to handle emergency traffic and check emergency equipment. We train and acquire personnel skilled in emergency communications and message handling, Salvation Army operations in local, regional, and international disaster situations. Club membership in PARC, which is the Palomar Amateur Radio Club, is not a requirement for participation in this net. If you need a repeater, please use another club repeater, either 146.730 or 147.130. They both have a tone of 107.2. Is there any emergency traffic at this time? At 20:30 hours or 8:30 p.m. after securing this net, SATERN moves to the 145.320 repeater, which uses a negative offset with a tone of 107.2. If this Palomar repeater is either not working or stops working for any reason, which frequently happens, please switch to Palomar repeater 147.130 for the SATERN net. Net control is now going to conduct 3 separate check-ins. First, we're going to call the roll for our SATERN members from the San Diego Sierra Del Mar Division. And that shouldn't take very long at all. Then we will call the roll for the Salvation Army Communication Neighborhood Link members, who are also known as the CNL. Then finally, we'll check in any visitor to the SATERN net. Please use your full call sign. Okay, and the trivia question for tonight's net is as follows. And give your answer when you check in if you think you know what the answer is. Or if you even want to guess, that's fine too. Okay, the trivia question is as follows. Peanuts help cement the what? And they're talking about a technique. Peanuts help cement the what? And it continues as a standard in the United States. So think of a standard that for the U.S., peanuts help cement it. Okay, with that, we'll go into the roll call for SATERN members. And there's only 2 that are active. WD6 APP, Chuck in San Diego. And he doesn't normally check in here, but we'll see. And I'm the other one, KJ6 TDC, and Tom and Ramona, and I'm checking myself in using that for ID. So at this point, we'll see if there's any other SATERN members out there that would like to check in. Just give me your call sign. Okay, I don't hear anybody, so we'll move on. We'll have John, WD6 AOX. He's going to call the roll for the CNL membership. Visitors, please stand by.
Good evening, Tom and the net. We do appreciate that. And we'll get started right away with Jack, AE6ES in Claremont.
AE6ES, Jack in Claremont.
Good evening to you, Jack. We got you loud and clear. Moving on, AE6NO, Carl, Lemon Grove.
Good evening, John and Annette. This is AE6NO and Lemon Grove.
Sounding nice and clear and loud from Lemon Grove for sure. Okay, let's see. Omer and Hamul has an early check-in again, AG6US. And let's see about Dave in Chula Vista, AG6VX. Good evening there, Dave. We got you loud and clear. Thanks for being there. So we have an early check-in for Bob in El Cajon. So the command chair is empty this evening. That's KA7IGN. Okay, moving on. Don Carlsbad, KG6BH. We have an early check-in for Peter in Loma Portal, KG6PVL. And Mark also in North Park with an early check-in this evening, KI6BNE. See if Mickey's awake up there in the forest. KI6CSY, Mickey.
This is KI6CSY, Mickey in Open Forest, and I don't even know how to word it, but I'm thinking it may have something to do with helping to level out the trade imbalance. But, you know, I know everybody's thinking it's nutritional, but I don't know. I'm guessing. KI6CSY.
Good guess there, Mickey. I don't think I have a clue, but we'll find out for sure. I think, let's see, we have an early check-in for Marietta in Hamul, KI6YZK, and an early check-in for George in Lakeside, N6NUA. Early check-in for John in Chula Vista, W6FE, and an early check-in for Ed in Chula Vista, WB6YTE. For identifications, this is WD6AOX John in Poway. And we have an early check-in for Fritz in San Diego, WD6GMU. If there are any late check-ins for CNL and you would like to check in at this point in time, that would be a good thing. Please come one at a time. Hearing none, we'll go ahead and do the count. It looks like 14 this go around, and that's outstanding for the first week of the month of August. Tom, I don't have a guess other than something to do with manufacturing of printed circuit boards, because I have experience with that using peanut oil on circuit boards. Okay, this is WD6AOX relinquishing command and turning control back to you, Tom.
I heard a break in there. Go ahead, break.
Yes, this is KG6BH Don in Carlsbad, calling in late.
Thank you, Don. We got late's better than never, so I appreciate that. Yeah, we got you there loud and clear. And Tom will go ahead and do the update to 15 as the count on this end.
And we copy that. Thanks, Don. Okay, with that, we'll give some information about SATERN if there's anybody out there that's listening. If you would like more information about it, just go to www.satern, SATERN.org. And if you want to root around on the Emergency Disaster Services page with the Salvation Army at the headquarters down in San Diego, you can do that at disaster.salvationarmyusa.org. And at the bottom of the page, they have a button that you can hit to take you over to the SATERN link. So either way is a good way to get further information about SATERN. With that, Net Control is going to check in visitors to the net. Again, please use your full call sign. If you're interested in SATERN or CNL membership, please let us know. That way we can get some info to you. So visitors, come one at a time, please, and give me your call sign, your first name, and your location.
KK6ZEX, Chris in Oceanside, and I haven't a clue about that peanut question.
Okay, confirming KK6ZEX, correct, Chris?
That's correct.
Okay, copy that. I didn't have my cheat sheet handy. So thanks for checking in and being there. Okay, we'll see if there's any other visitors that would like to check in. And I should have told you you're coming in loud and clear. But anyway, let's, it doesn't sound like we got anybody else, so I can give the answer to the question. And the question was, again, peanuts help cement the what as standard in the U.S. And I didn't know that answer, but every time you look at the comic strips, you can thank Mr. Schultz for that, because it's the 4-panel gag strip. And most of the comics, unless it's a single window or whatever you want to call it, it's always got 4 windows, and that's what he helped put in place. Kind of interesting trivia. All right. Okay, I started transmitting, and then I think I heard somebody in there too that we were doubling, so go ahead. Was there somebody who had a comment? Okay, that's coming up. It's another technician class that's going to be coming up Saturday, September 17th. And this is going to be held in the Crest area. Of course, you don't have to be from Crest to take to sign up for the test. They just float those classes around the county, and they haven't had one in Crest in a long time, so they're going to do one there. And that's going to be at 8:30 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. They give breaks, and etc., lunch break, etc. And then the VE testing will start at around 5 o'clock, and then it will go until it ends, and that's everybody's out of there by the latest, usually by 7 o'clock. If you're interested in that class, and this should help get you interested in it, the class is absolutely free. And this time around, the testing is absolutely free. So you don't have to pay a fee to the VE testers. They will come in and do it for nothing. If you're interested or know somebody is, tell them to send an email to San Diego Ham Classes at that's the word me.com. And in the subject line on your email, so that they know which class that you're trying to sign up for, just put September 7th.
You talk too long on the repeater and time the machine out, and it shuts down to give itself a chance to cool down. That's what's happening now. So once the repeater resets itself, then Tom can...
Okay, does anyone have any other comments or concerns or anything about... I'm glad we had a full house and we didn't lose anybody because we didn't have any nets for the last 2 weeks in a row. I guess that won't happen again, thank goodness, for another 4 years, but we'll see how that turns out. Anyway, does anyone have anything else before we close the net? Boy, it's a chipper group tonight. Okay, park members have access to 4 repeaters, a 447.0 repeater, a 52.68 repeater, a 220 repeater, or two 220 repeaters, an amateur television repeater, and 3 digital repeaters with PAL BBS on 146.7. And I guess I should have said that PARC again stands for Palomar Amateur Radio Club. They're the owners of this repeater and several others. The Palomar Mountain repeaters are at 5,600 feet, cover 2,000 square miles of San Diego County and up to 100 miles into the Pacific Ocean. All amateurs are welcome at club meetings in the Carlsbad Safety Center the first Wednesday of each month at 19:30 hours or 7:30 p.m. If you're interested in seeing what the program is for the upcoming meeting, please go to www.palomararc.org, and the program should be listed on that first page. Okay, before we close the net, are there any last-minute check-ins for either SATERN members, CNL members, or visitors? Okay, hearing none, this concludes tonight's Salvation Army Team Emergency Radio Network, known as SATERN, and it's spelled SATERN. I'd like to thank all of you who checked in, and thank W6NWG for the use of the repeater. SATERN is now going to begin again at 20:30 hours, just a few minutes, and that's 8:30 p.m. for you non-military types. And that's on 145.320 with a negative offset with a tone of 107.2. And we hope that you can join us there in just a few minutes. This is KJ6TDC, net control at SaturnNet. We're securing the net and returning this frequency to normal amateur use, and we're going to call it a
Again, that's a typical net that we meet each Thursday night, and we start on the Palomar machine. Here I have a wallet card for members of either SATERN or the Communication Neighborhood Link, CNL. This happens to be my card. It has my name, call sign, the frequencies that we use. And then on the back it has additional information about emergency phone numbers, headquarters phone numbers, and guidelines. This is something that all of the CNL and SATERN members were given at least at one time. So what we do now is we are a few minutes away from the next net, which is repeater that is down near San Diego's Lindbergh Field Airport, and that will be coming up shortly. This is our list of our current amateur radio operators that are members of the CNL, Communication Neighborhood Link. To the left of each name is their call sign and also the letter signifying their grade of license for amateur. It goes technician, general, advanced, and extra. And we currently have 16 active members, split between the 8 o'clock net and the 8:30 net. I also have indicated here their geographic location, the cities within Southern California that they reside in. That would be considered their headquarters or their sphere of influence. These amateur radio operators are volunteer, and their requirement primarily is shelter in place, their neighborhood, be aware of their surroundings in their neighborhood, and during emergencies is to report to the Salvation Army's headquarters conditions as they see them. So they're an important group of folks with emergency services, the eyes and ears. SATERN, on the other hand, are the ones that can deploy on an emergency location. Our CNL folks are a shelter in place. And that was Tom on the radio giving everybody the 5-minute warning that the next net was about to start. Point before the net starts, right next to the names, there's the Palomar in blue. That's the repeater we were just on. This Mission Hills repeater is the one by San Diego's Lindbergh Field, downtown San Diego. The X is they were on air checking in. The E's are early or excused. In other words, they contacted us by email or phone or text to let us know that they're still around, their equipment is operational, but they were unable to go live on air. And that's not a problem either. They're still out there, they're still volunteers. And then the totals down here for the week, we already have for Palomar 15 out of a potential 16. Actually, that was a full house. That was a full house. We have 15 available on that repeater. On this repeater that we're getting ready to start is 15, and we already had 9 that either have already checked in with an early, or like myself, I went ahead and checked myself in because I know I was going to be here. So Tom ought to be starting the show here momentarily, and we'll go into the second weekly net.
frequency clear.
Yes, Tom, go ahead. WD6 AOX.
SATERN net, let me activate the reverse auto patch and we'll get going.
His location requires that he phones into the repeater and uses the phone circuit in the repeater instead of his radio. That way he doesn't burn his radio up trying to let people hear him.
CQ the SATERN net, CQ the SATERN net, CQ the SATERN net. This is the Salvation Army Team Emergency Radio Network. Good evening, this is KJ6 TDC, net control for the Salvation Army Team Emergency Radio Network for the Sierra Del Mar Division in San Diego County on Thursday, August 4th, 2016. This net meets every Thursday, initially on the Palomar 147.075 repeater at 2000 hours or 8 p.m. and then at 2030 hours or 8:30 p.m. we move here to the 145.320 repeater, which uses a negative offset with a tone of 107.2. The purpose of the Salvation Army Team Emergency Radio Network, or SATERN, is to train and acquire personnel skilled in emergency communications and message handling who will support the Salvation Army operations in local, regional, and international disaster situations. This is a directed net. Please transmit only when directed by net control. We ask a tolerance of other amateurs. If there is an emergency, interrupt and net control will either yield the frequency or provide assistance. If you can copy a station on the repeater input frequency that net control doesn't hear, please break with the word relay and net control will acknowledge you. Is there any emergency traffic at this time? Net control will now conduct 3 separate check-ins. First, we're going to call the roll for SATERN members from the San Diego Sierra Del Mar Division. Next, we're going to call the roll for the Salvation Army Communication Neighborhood Link members, who are also known as the CNL. And then finally, we'll check in any visitor to the SATERN net. Please use your full call sign. Okay, and the trivia question is following, and if you think you know the answer to it, give us that answer when you check in. Okay, and here's the question. The main character of Peanuts, that's Peanuts in the comic strip, is Charlie Brown. What is he unable to do? And there are 3 acceptable answers, and of course, if you get all 3 of them, you even get a better prize. All right, I'll repeat the question. The main character of Peanuts is Charlie Brown. What is he unable to do? And there's 3 acceptable answers. All right. We will now call the roll for SATERN members and ask that CNL members and visitors please stand by. WD6 APP, Chuck in San Diego.
Good evening, Tom and Annette. This is Chuck, WD6 APP. I have no traffic tonight. You're loud and clear, over.
Copy that. Thanks for being there, Chuck. And the repeater seems to be working good. Okay, I'll check myself in KJ6 TDC, Tom and Ramona, and we'll see if there's any other SATERN members that would like to check in. All you need to do is give me your call sign, and we'll get you back on the list. Okay, and I don't hear anybody, so we're going to call the roll call for the CNL membership. That's the Communication Neighborhood Link members, and WD6 AOX. John in Poway is going to call the roll for the cell. John, you got the helm.
Thank you, Tom. Good evening to our CNL members, and let's get started with Jack, AE6ES. Jack, Claremont. AE6NO, Carl, Lemon Grove. Okay, moving on. We have an early check-in for Omer and Hamul, AG6 US. Let's see, Dave. AG6VX, Dave in Chula Vista.
AG6VX, Dave in Chula Vista.
Good evening once more, Dave. Got you loud and clear. K6MUY, Bill, Lemon Grove.
K6MUY, Bill in Lemon Grove.
Got a full room full of you, loud and clear. Thanks, Bill, for being there. And we have an early check-in for Bob in El Cajon, KA7IGN. Don in Carlsbad, KG6BH. Okay, moving on. Peter, Loma Portal, early check-in, KG6PVL. Mark, North Park, early check-in, KI6BNE. Mickey, Elfin Forest, KI6CSY. Wow, Mickey, you got some good guesses. You're kind of in and out breaking there, so I'm not quite sure what's going on, if you're moving around in the house or not, but it's sort of, loud and then sort of waves away and gets soft and then it gets loud again. But we got most of that for sure, and you had 2 out of the 3 for sure, I would say. So I'm happy for you, Mickey. I think you're going to be a big winner this evening. That's a good thing. Okay, early check-in for Marietta and Hamul, KI6YZK. And we have an early check-in also for John in Chula Vista. Equipment is up and operational. He says he's doing a lot of woodwork around the old ham shack, and his call is W6FE. And Ed in Chula Vista also with an early check-in this evening, WB6YTE. Now for ID and station identification, this is a WD6AOX John in Poway. We have an early check-in for Fritz in San Diego, which he could probably hit the repeater with a rock from his location, WD6GMU with an early check-in. Now I think we had a couple of members that may have a late check-in for CNL, and you know who you are, and if you like to check in, please come now, one at a time. Tom, I guess I was wrong. Okay, we'll do the head count real quick. We got 12 on the computer here for a tally this week, and that's still outstanding for the first week in August of 2016. Man, where's this year gone? Okay, this is WD6 AOX CNL Net Control relinquishing command and returning it to you. Tom, you've got it. Please take her away.
Okay, copy that. Thanks, John, and thanks for doing the check-in. And I caught 2 of Mickey's, I think. One of them was a red-headed girl. I guess he couldn't make a connection, and the other ones got very scratchy, Mickey. So could you repeat the other 2 distractors?
This is
you now, let us know. But if you just want to check your radio to see if it's transmitting from your current location, that's fine too. Just give us your call sign, your first name, and the location you're transmitting from, and we'll get you checked in. And I don't hear any visitors, so what we're going to do now is see if anyone has any announcements. Or before I do that, maybe I ought to give the answer to the trivia question. I'm sure people are chomping at the bit. The question again was the main character of Peanuts is Charlie Brown. What is he unable to do? And the correct answers are fly a kite, win a baseball game, or kick a football. And Mickey got kick a football. And and she was the only one that had any parts of the winning team. So just check into your local Walmart and tell security that you won the prize and that you're there to pick it up, Mickey. And let us know how that works out for you. Okay, we'll move on to announcements again. Does anyone have any announcements that they would like to make? Okay, I've just got to repeat one. It's a technician class that's going to be held in the Crest area of the county. That's east of El Cajon, up in the hill. And that's going to be on September 17th. The class starts promptly at 8:30 and runs until about 5. They give hourly breaks and a lunch break. And then at 5 o'clock, the VE team will come in and do the testing. The class is absolutely free, and the VE testing this time is absolutely free. If you're interested in finding Crest and going to take a technician exam, you need to sign up ahead of time. They don't take walk-ins. So just go to San Diego Ham Classes at me.com. Again, that's San Diego Ham Classes at me.com. And in the subject line, so that they know which class that you're trying to sign up for, just put September 17th Crest, and they'll get back to you with what they need you to do so that you can come and take the class. All right, with that, no more announcements. Is there anybody with last-minute questions or comments about Saturn? And we'll ask one last time if there's any other check-ins for either Saturn members, CNL members, or visitors. And we don't hear anybody, so this is going to conclude tonight's Salvation Army Team Emergency Radio Network, known as SATERN, and it's spelled SATERN. I'd like to thank all of you who checked in, and thank WD6APP for the use of the repeater, and especially for allowing me to use the reverse auto patch feature of that, since I'm in a hole up here in Ramona and I can't hit the repeater effectively. So we appreciate that, Chuck. Thank you very much. This is KJ6TDC, net control for the Saturn net, securing the net and returning the frequency to normal amateur use. And we're going to call it at 2046. And give me a couple of seconds here to deactivate the reverse auto patch, and then the frequency will be up for grabs. Hang on a second. Okay, I heard the repeater disengage, so it's back to normal status, and everyone have a safe week. We still got hot weather coming, so be careful out there. KJ6TDC is clear.
Thank you, Tom, for the great trivia questions. They are mind twister for sure, and so somebody must be giving those questions to you, like the wife. Okay, have a good weekend, and talk to you next week. WD6 AOX out, and back to you.
Copy that. Thanks, John. And yeah, I certainly couldn't come up with those things, that's for sure. So, all right. We'll see you next week. KJ6 TDC is clear.
And there was a slice of life live, and this is all on 2-meter amateur radio band. I just turned the radio off here, so I can. It's a radio that can also go mobile. So I have a 12-volt power supply in here in the Radio Shack, and it is providing me 12-volt power to this radio. And radio's pretty dependable. I've had it about 5 years now, I guess. Been doing the CNL for over 6 years, and Tom is in there at least maybe a year before me with his SATERN. And this is something that community oriented, and hopefully you got some behind the scenes or information or how we do our nets. And you'll notice that of the 2 nets, we schedule a half hour, but it rarely goes the full 30 minutes. So it's 15 to 20 minutes on average is what each net takes. And we do appreciate the owners of the repeaters, that the 2 different repeaters in the 2 different geographic locations here in San Diego, that allow us to get on there once a week and do our practicing. And primarily, again, it's for the CNL, which is the majority of the people on the air, on the radio. They provide the eyes and ears during an emergency situation or disaster. Okay, hopefully that was informative and interesting. This is WD6 AOX, John in Poway, California, signing off.